we should have material ready for a volume, and from there on we will see what the money allows us in terms of actual publication. But it will certainly, most of the materials already exist on the internet, and we are completing that task over the next year. The second target of our efforts in this vein will be a close colleague of Danilo's, Wodan Chang, who has, to be quite fair, a more substantial literary output than Danilo did, and we are compiling his literary essays as well. I am proud to be working on this material. I think it is a project deserving of our attention and resources, and those of you who feel that the program is a worthwhile cause, I urge you to take the effort to contribute to it. We would be happy to receive greater support, which would allow more work to go on. The program will hopefully expand in other directions as time and money allow, but these will be our first efforts. Needless to say, the program will also continue with the annual Stroop lectures, and today's lecture is one that once again gives me great pride and encouragement. Our speaker today is Professor Natalia Pylypiuk from the University of Alberta. She and I are colleagues from way back when. She has a degree in comparative literature from Harvard University, and she has been the moving force at the University of Alberta as far as language training is concerned. In fact, Professor Pylypiuk, roughly speaking, she has done a great many things as a scholar in her career, but in a general sense, we could probably divide her work into two general areas. One is work on early modern Ukrainian literature. In particular, she is one of the key scholars involved in work on Grigory Skovoroda, and one of her important recent accomplishments was the publication of an electronic concordance to the complete works of Grigory Skovoroda. I urge you, if you are remotely interested, to go out to the website that the University of Alberta Ukrainian program maintains and to look at this Skovoroda concordance. It is admittedly a somewhat esoteric tool, because Grigory Skovoroda is a somewhat esoteric subject, but it is a very large accomplishment in scholarship and a very important tool for those who work in this area, and this is largely thanks to Professor Pylypiuk's efforts. She is also, as I have indicated, a major force in Ukrainian language pedagogy. The University of Alberta, under her leadership, has become perhaps the leading center outside of Ukraine, maybe perhaps including Ukraine, in terms of language pedagogy. And she has published a number of materials, trained a number of teachers, and is very active in this field as well. I won't go on to list all the various other things that Professor Pylypiuk has done as a scholar, but I invite you to welcome her. She will be giving us a talk on the well-known Ukrainian poet Vassily Stus, and since she has slightly altered her topic, I will let her present her own. Thank you.
Thank you, Maxim. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes? Okay. Good evening. Good afternoon. I'm very honored by the opportunity to present this lecture commemorating Danilo Stroop. He is both a joyful friend and a scholar deeply committed to the preservation of cultural memory, an objective he shared with the main subject of my talk. I'm very pleased to see among colleagues and friends, also members of the family of Danilo, Pani Maria, Pani Natalka, Pani Oksana. Dziękuję za Waszą przysługę. As Maxim indicated, there is a slight change in the title of my talk. It's now Mystical Narcissism in the Poetry of Vasil Stus. Before I begin, I draw your attention to the epigraph that I have drawn from John Brinkman, an American scholar, who basically argues that the reflection that Narcissus sees in the water is the silent, spatial, visible repetition of the voice. It is the other of speech. Writing, the sign of a sign, is that which repeats speech, silences the voice by spatializing it, and so puts outside the pure interiority of self. The extant poetry of Vasil Stus is resolutely introspective. With infrequent and for the most part subtle exceptions, it does not reflect on the political order that victimized him or the reality he encountered as a prisoner. However, the philosophical, mystical, and psychological aspects of his writings, and above all his poetry,